I'm a mom of two, and I battled with postpartum depression and anxiety.
Asking for a friend. What's it like to battle with postpartum depression and anxiety?
So my story began when I turned 30. Within the span of about 11 months, I got married and had a baby. About 6 weeks after I had him, I was having these depressive thoughts. My doctor kind of just told me that it was the baby blues and I would get through it and pushed me aside. I had reached back out to my doctor again, probably around 6 months postpartum. Again, my doctor pushed me away. So I, at that point, didn't really know what to do because I thought, I'm making this up, I'm crazy, my doctor doesn't think there's anything wrong, of course he knows best. So I tried everything I could to pull myself out of it. I started working out more, I went back to church and was doing whatever I could to basically survive. My son turned 1, I was in a really good place, and I find out that I am pregnant with my second. I had him, and the first 3 months were really, really good. Then it's like everything switched right at 3 months.
What changed at 3 months?
I was struggling. I was concerned about my abilities as a mother. I felt very overwhelmed. I used to call my husband almost every day, screaming at him to come home. Like I couldn't take it, I couldn't handle it, I couldn't handle the kids. I think it was about 5-6 months postpartum when I really hit rock bottom. I would think about things like jumping off of the balcony and what if I just slipped down in the bathtub. But I didn't reach out to my doctor at first because I was turned away twice the last time.
When were you finally able to get help?
I called my husband one day while he was at work. I told him I was afraid that I might hurt my child and I didn't want to be here anymore and they would be better off without me. I don't think that he really truly understood how much I was struggling until that phone call. Thankfully, he called right away to a hospital. The psychologist called me. I shared with her on the phone all of the things that were happening. I was very honest. It was very hard to do, but I'm glad I did, because if I didn't, I may not be here today.
What was your treatment plan?
The number one thing that they recommended was starting medication. I also had to stay on a plan with a psychologist. I stayed on the medication for about 6 months. Our insurance wasn't covering the medication. We just couldn't afford it. Thankfully, I was in a much better place at that 6 months, but I knew that I couldn't just not do anything. So I joined a gym. I was back at church again. I have not fully got into meditation, but I've definitely done things that are meditative, like learning breathing exercises, and noise-canceling headphones are my saving grace. I also started seeing a therapist. She offered a sliding scale for me, which was amazing. It was definitely still a financial burden for us, but it was one cost as opposed to the multiple costs with medication and a psychologist. It's probably been 2 years now, and I am in a completely different place. I still deal with anxiety, but it's not what it was. And so I think it's extremely important that more women are educated around postpartum depression because it affects so many of us. It's so important that we talk about the feelings that we're having and the things that we're going through because it could save your life if you know what to look for.
Anything you want your kids to know about your journey?
It wasn't easy, but because of them, I'm still here.